would a demon do all that? They wouldn't. You know, so this is where you have to use wisdom and discernment on who is actually guiding everything and speaking. Okay, so now this is cute, and this will show you how funny. Oh, Lolly just hit the camera with her tail. Oh, there's Lolly. She's making her little debut again. Hi, Lolly. Say hi. Say hi. Here's your babies.
She's hungry. She's always hungry.
I know. Okay, so this was really cute. So Jesus, he always puts random songs in my head, okay? And they always mean something, and they're marked with dates. Well, yesterday, I started singing to G. I was just kidding around in the kitchen, and I was just going, you better shape up, 'cause I need a man, and my heart is set on you. From Greece, right? Okay. So tell me why, okay, this morning, I'm gonna stand up really quick. I never wear these leggings or these pants or anything. And I feel Jesus, you know, he always leads me to do everything, right? And I wear this outfit, and it's literally like a Grease outfit, okay? So then...
I've never seen the movie before until now.
He's never seen it. Now, I didn't even think about it really being a Grease outfit. And, you know, it was so cool because Jesus, later on tonight, he said, I want you to watch the movie Grease. And there's always a reason he wants us to watch things, right? And a lot of times, you know, it has to do with like primary characters and people that we've played and stuff. But also, he shows you because he puts clues in entertainment. I mean...
the Key of David?
The Key of David, yeah. Tell me about that.
Yeah, they had to rebuild the car, right? And finally the car came out all rebuilt, beautiful, and license plate. It was 432.
432?
And he always does that to confirm, to show us, yes, I am leading you to watch this movie. I am the beginning and the end. I put this 40 years ago so people can see this and see the symbolism and see what I'm doing. I'm part of all this.
Yeah, he's behind everything, right? And so it's just so beautiful how he does that. And like, he lines up so perfectly. Now, there's so much more. Okay, ready? So he gave me a dream. Now we have to get the notes. So he's been talking about the blue moon, okay? Well, this is the first one. Okay, so I'll let G read this, but I'm going to talk about what this is. So I was having... I was on, well, first of all, he gave me two dreams. One was 6/11/2024. And the first night was, I had a warning dream from the Father. And he was speaking to me in my dream. And he was very stern, but he was like, I'm giving my people one more chance, one last warning to wake up. And I could recognize that it wasn't the Son speaking, but the Father, because it had more of a lion tone. But it wasn't the false father, because he was basically still showing love in the dream, and he was leading his people and giving them more warnings, right? But he had marked that day 6/11 as the last warning, or 116. Okay, because when you look at it, you can look forward backwards, 116, 6/11. And God's a God of numbers. I don't use gematria because he told me that that's a mockery, and angel numbers is a mockery as well. So I only use Bible concordance. And I know there's some people that I have talked about before, and I won't mention the name because I don't call people out like that do use gematria. But Jesus had told me he's still using that person, and when he gives him a dream, and when he starts to wake him up not to use gematria and use other things, it's going to lead him into more mysteries and show him, you know, the right way. And then he will have the correct day and get that dream and give the bride a 3-day warning. However, I don't believe that's going to happen until the end, unless he does like a pre, right? Because there's going to be many raptures, okay? I talked about this before in Revelation 4:1-2. He's going to keep completing that process as his people get ready and prove the future. And you'll see in some of the prophecies G's going to read. So anyway, I had a dream about blue moon, and it all ties in with the Grease movie, because that night Grease was in my dream, and I saw the 3 men mooning the screen before I woke up, and I heard blue moon, okay? And he gave me the song, Blue Moon, saw me standing alone.
Did you put, they mooned right at 11:08.
Yeah, they mooned right at 11:08.
Well, it was 11:09 when we watched it, and yesterday's still 11:08.
Yeah.
So,
And technically, because of the time dilation, we're technically still, a couple days behind.
We go from evening to evening, yeah.
From evening to evening. So 11/6, when I had that dream, 6/6/11, same thing, right? It's literally showing like a 2-day difference in how God lines everything up. Okay, so we'll let him read some of the blue moon prophecies and how they're significant.
Okay. 10/11/2025. Why do you think the devil mocks astrophysics and clones people? Everything that you see that is evil was always once good, because God is the creator and the devil mocks it. But there is nothing that the devil does that God does not allow. God is always the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. He is always the one in charge. So just like the 9/23 deception, God still allowed it to happen, and he even confirmed that date with his true followers. And the reason why is because 9/23 is very significant. It's the light leaving the world. It mirrors 3/11 and 1/13. But you have to understand the calendars have been changed. 2025 did not start until 6/16/2025. That is because how they have changed the calendars, adding days to the Gregorian. Because God's calendar is only 16 days. It's 8 days of the dark moon. It's 8 days of the blue moon. And every 15th day is the full moon, which starts the beginning of the month of day 16. Which is actually day 1 for the next month.
So let me stop you really quick, because that was really fast. So, the full moon, when it's full on the 15th of every month on God's calendar, is the full moon leading into day 1 of the next month. So there's 16 days on the calendar for each calendar. The difference is the physical calendar has 13 months, and the spiritual only has 12 months. Okay, so there's a difference here. Get in there, you're too cute. Gotta get him again. I'll scoot some over. When he puts us in our smaller suits, we'll be able to fit better.
I'm sucking it in right now. Oh, I can't breathe.
Well, I have on these tight little leather pants, but he still keeps
What's
me.
that song? Fat Man in a little...
Fat man in a little coat.
That's how I feel like.
It's okay. I think you're beautiful.
I know. Thank you.
But anyway, I don't even know where I was.
The 16 days.
Oh, thank you.
The blue moon.
So the 16 days is every calendar. So basically, it doesn't go to day 16. Day 16 merges into day 1, right? So it's 8 days of the blue moon, 8 days of the dark moon. And when you get to 15, because it's evening to evening, you're technically in day 16, but it's really day 1 starting. So, but you don't see 16 on the calendar. Okay, just wanted to explain that.
And because they added so many days on the Gregorian calendar, you have to look at 2 months like 1 month, because everything is half time. So because 2025 did not officially start until 6/16, we are currently only in month 5 of 2025, matching the Gregorian.
For that day.
Going on to month 6 now in November. But that's not the only calendar that God is using. God is using his physical calendar, which is 13 months and only 16 days, matching the Gregorian. And on that calendar, we are in the month of 13, his hidden month. His other calendar is a spiritual calendar with 16 days and no 13th month. And we are in the month 5. So you see how he has lined it up, mirrored perfectly in the spirit, just like his Mazzaroth as a mirror. God is so complex, and this is why you truly will never know the day or the hour until he reveals it to his prophets first. But then again, will we truly understand that revelation? LOL, probably not, because God's ways are so much higher than man's. But the Spirit will know on the day of when it's truly time, because you truly do not know which calendar he is going to use, or whether or not he is going to use the day as a mirror. However, he has you speak things out of your obedience and faith, just like he had Abraham put his son on the altar. You see, faith pleases God. You never truly know how it's going to work out. You just know the voice of the Father because you recognize him in your spirit and you trust him. But in order to know the voice of the Father, you have to know his true character and have a real relationship with him. Not just an occasional relationship in a church meeting on Sunday. A real father, daughter, or son relationship. That's how you truly get to know Jesus and his true character. You make your life all about him and keep seeking him, his will for your life, and he will always be there to guide you. He loves us and he is truly the best friend, father, husband, brother we could have. He is all things and truly so amazing. Once you get to know his true personality, not the personality the world makes him out to be, but his true personality, a one-on-one relationship with a God who is love and grace.
So that was part 5 on one of the community posts. So Jesus had me do 49 parts. And when I write these things, he speaks through me, basically. So it's not technically a message, but you can ask G. I mean, he supernaturally scribes through me, right?
Yeah.
So what he does is he'll start writing, and sometimes he'll write from the bottom, meaning like he'll tell me to go to the top and he adds more. And without even knowing what's coming next, it transitions perfectly, supernaturally.
He like meets it up in the middle and then puts words here and there, and then you think you're going, it doesn't make sense to you while you're doing it. And then when you read it back, it's like perfect.
Because he starts filling in the pieces, because everything is marked in heaven for timestamps for scribing. Like he's marking things as he's writing it. And I did post some scribes.
I was going to say that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and she did post.
You're so cute. You were raising your hand.
Well, she did post many videos of her doing this live, and many people were like, blah.
Yeah.
And we're like, what does that mean? But a lot of people probably didn't understand what was happening, because they don't stay long enough to see the process that Jesus has her go through. Right. And if you stay longer
and watch the whole thing, you will see how it transitions perfectly.
Right.
So it's hard because I'm typing it on the phone as he's speaking it in my head. And like I said, it's not an actual voice. It's just thoughts by the Holy Spirit. But he'll give me like sentences, and as I'm typing. So on the scribe videos, it takes me forever to type, and he's waiting on me to get the next word. Yeah. And so I'm reading it, and then he just keeps adding more things. Like when I'm reading something, he'll speak things in my head that's not there on paper, and then I jot it down, and it flows perfectly.
Yeah.
Transitions next. Okay, some more on the blue moon.
8/19/2024. My children, how are you? I have exciting plans that are about to come to fruition. We have new people in the group now. Everyone that joins the group needs to be tested. I am testing everyone's heart right now. I am excited for you to go on the next step. The blue moon is very significant. Crossing over the Jordan into the promised land is very significant. I do things on a case-to-case basis. I reward accordingly. I am a God of order. 10/25/2024. Pistis Sophia book talks about the moon being on the 15th. Jesus said it starts on the 16th, meaning the next month. He was saying he used the 8 days of creation. He said if you look at the month, you need to look at it as half. 8 days for blue moon, 8 days for dark moon. Now he explained to me what they're doing is they're adding days to the calendar, because you can't see what the moon is doing because of the images of the other worlds with the reflections. So because of the other worlds, they're able to use that mirrored image to trick us. So that's why we can't see what the moon is doing all the time. And I think that's also why the moon disappears sometimes, that they can't explain, right? So that's basically what he was saying. So he told us to start on 3/15.
So when he had me make the calendar, he was talking to Cassie, because Cassie was reading the Pistis Sophia book. And, he leads us to these apocryphas, but he knows me. Like, the Pistis Sophia book totally went over my head. I tried reading it, but he gave me the supernatural. Like, as Cassie was, I read the first page, and all of a sudden Jesus started speaking. Cassie calls me, and he goes, okay, I want you to start the calendar on 3/15. Like, literally, and he showed us how to count it and everything, and that's how the calendars came about. It was all supernatural. He showed me personally, and Cassie, confirmed it.
In different ways, yeah.
In different ways, yeah. He shows her he teaches her differently than the way he teaches me. Cassie's more analytical. She's biblically, she's pretty smart when it comes to the Bible, right? Me,
we're not that smart.
We're just like, oh, okay, there's unicorns. Awesome. We have childlike faith, right? We know it's the Lord speaking.
And Cassie does too, of course.
Yeah, Cassie does too. But
we're not as smart.
But she learns differently than us, because this is her role. Like, she loves it. Like, that's why she's going to be linked to the Holy Bible when it comes. She'll supernaturally have that when she'll be the only one that has that Holy Bible. We have another book that'll be linked to us, which is the creation book, and it's going to show you all the creations in heaven, and we're going to love that book, because it's going to talk about all kinds of cool things.
Yes, and that's a perfect example. What he keeps telling us is that he has a position perfect for everyone.
Yes.
Right? So no matter, how do you say? He said nobody's higher than any other. Everybody is the same as important, but you were made exactly for your position. So if you're wanting to have some other's position, and you have that jealousy in you.
It wasn't made for
you.
you.
It wasn't made for you, because you're going to be perfectly happy for what God made you for.
Right, and that's what he explained. And he's explaining things in our group because sometimes he did tests because he was reading people's thoughts, right? Some people in the group were thinking that, oh, well, why can't I be, this character, this person, from heaven? And so there was, jealousy and thoughts. So Jesus sets up tests, and he speaks certain things to show you if it contradicts the message, it was a test, and it's for training. And so he's done that so many times in the group, and this is a lot of times where the falls come from. And they're just temporary falls because literally he's just doing it part of his will to show the rebellion colony. They're not falling from his grace. They're not falling from salvation. They're just part-time, temporarily separated in the group, right? And that's because he's doing things and he's planning things.
It's all training.
And it's all training, right? But some people need more push than the other. Mm-hmm. And so some people, they can't hack it, or the training just gets too tough and they don't understand it because, he doesn't tell us everything right away because he's testing. So that's why it's really, really, really important to study the prophecies and all that stuff. And it all ties in with the bride, because every single thing we're doing, we're leading the movement for Jesus to come. And those aren't our words. Those are the Lord's words. He's given that to us because that's our role, right? But he made a perfect position for every single one of you guys listening. Yeah. And you are going to love your position in heaven. And this is why no one's higher than anyone else. And this is why he made many heavens, so we could all be kings and queens and reign and rule with the Heavenly Father.
That's so beautiful.
I know, he's so beautiful.
Okay, 12/11, which is 3/11, 2024.
He's a numbers guy now.
Yeah. So I have asked my people to do all these things. I asked Mandy to speak my message in a bikini. I asked Mandy to stand in her towel. Talking about aligning the planets with her atom. Well, I was already marrying in the spirit because your spirits went up on 6/17. Yes, I have revealed my true calendar now. All the other calendars that I gave are for a purpose. They all tie into the main calendar, but the calendar days have been changed. They have been lying to you. The month starts with the full moon. There's the 8 days of the blue moon. There's the 8 days of the dark moon. But on the 16th day starts the new month. So 16 converges into day 1 for the new month. And on the 15th is the full moon on every month, which is why, according to their calendar, the Gregorian, but I am not confirming these years yet because there's another mystery that I'm going to teach my people.
So I don't know if he's talking about another mystery other than the one where the calendar of 2025 starts on 6/16.
Well,
but there's probably more mystery because we're probably not even in the year 2025, most likely.
Too, I think they also say that the no moon starts on the calendar starts on a no moon, not a full moon, right? Right.
So yeah, and that's not true. That was a deception because they were adding days, right? So by the time they got to, because they added more days to the calendar, by the time you get to day 15, right? On God's calendar, that is always going to be the full moon, okay? But on man's calendar, it's not because they added more days. And they're using the multiple worlds to show this. This is why there's 2 moons. And people have seen even more than that because God allowed the devil to create the mockery worlds, right? After the world he created. But see, Jesus, I say Jesus because Jesus is God, he didn't put the beautiful parts of the world in it. He only did a mirrored image because he knew the devil was going to mock it and make those worlds, right? Using God's creation. Because, again, God creates and the devil mocks. The devil doesn't create anything. He uses all of God's creations and they set that up, right? And so that's why the devil only has like a mirrored image. And so when the stuff happens with the veil being removed, that's when the mysteries of Antarctica come out, because it's like a mirrored image. You can see everything. It's not all the beautiful parts that God has made in our world.
Yeah. Okay, so 131, and 131, I don't know if you guys know, but the devil uses the number 23 a lot. To mock, right? Because 23 is 311, right. 311, and 311 was when Jesus, he gave up his spirit on the cross.
Yes, and that's why they mock that
That's
day.
why they say 23. And you see it, dates all over the movies. they go 23, December 23rd, 9/23, right?
Yes.
So it's
3/29.
Every time, 23. Michael Jordan, 23. I mean, it's everywhere.
3/29 is 3/11. So you see how they do it? They do it forward and backwards. And that's why 9/23 was such a big deception, right? Because I went to Jesus personally, and he said that was the false father speaking, not him. So he didn't hear from the actual Lord for that day. However, the real Jesus did confirm 9/23, because 9/23 is still the light leaving the world.
It's a very important number, 3/11.
But
yeah.
Jesus did not confirm the 9/23 on our Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
And he did not confirm Feast of Trumpets at all, because he's merging all the feasts together.
Yeah.
So he's not doing that, right?
Right. So 131, and 131 is 14.
Yeah.
Right? And 14 is 122, which is 1 plus 2 is 3, 3, 2, which is 3/11. So if you notice, he's giving us all these very important messages on 3/11 mirrors, right?
So that's simple adding God math, right? Here's the mockery. The mockery is to take that number and then go look it up on a gematria website and get what that meaning means.
Yeah.
That's the mockery. That's like almost looking for your horoscopes, in astrology. But God's Bible concordance, when you add that up and you get a number, that is fine, because God did the Hebrew and the Greek, and that was connected to his Bible. So those numbers are fine. That's why he has a book called God of Numbers.
Amen.
So you have to understand the difference, guys. You can't condemn people because they talk about numbers. What numbers are they using, right?
All right, 131, 2025. He is guiding every word I am speaking to you as I am writing to you by the will of the Father. And when I am speaking these words on video at his appointed time, he will use me and his chosen people as he is speaking through me now, directly now. And I'm translating his words now, hearing from the Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, and the Father, and I will show you why I speak at certain times and why I use certain dates, and why day 16 converges into day 1, and why on that day I'm using it all to show you my true mysteries, and why it will be the start of everything as I transition you, all getting used to the new calendar and how it is the start of the new month, and the start of the new phase, and how I will be using my people, showing you my mysteries, and I will be showing you the time dilation of the moon, and how I am using all these new revelations. I am showing my people and how I am using it to show my true design, and how by using the blue moon and the dark moon, moving everything over into the next moon phase, correlating all calendars and mirrors, reflecting of all the worlds, you will see how it all converges, which is why you have the Mandela Effect, and which is why you are seeing 2 moons or more.
So if you don't know what the Mandela Effect is, basically it's when you remember something being something else.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, it's like the Britney Spears song. I can remember she had a headphone in one world, but then her headphone was gone, right?
Yeah.
And there's Kit Kat.
The Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears.
Yeah.
How you remember it. The reason why there's a Mandela Effect is because there's multiple worlds.
See?
So literally the worlds are colliding together in the spirit. And God is allowing this, but they're switching out things.
Yep.
They're switching out things because, we get switched out all the time in different worlds. We don't even realize that's happening, because God is cleansing his people. Whether you know it or not, God is behind everything. That's why he says there's only 81 duplicates that need to be required. We have duplicates. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a dream, and so is the group. And when the bride, and when he's ready to pull everyone in, when they go on their missions, because they have to go to heaven first, because they have to train as an elder. Jesus is starting missions with us right now because he's been training us now for 3 years almost. Okay, so there's a difference. But when he starts to do those missions, I just kind of lost my train of thought. I just went away.
We start doing those. What does that mean? Maybe he wants us to keep going.
Maybe he just wants to keep going.
Okay.
Anyway, because usually he speaks to me, so maybe I'm not supposed to talk about that.
We'll talk about it next week, maybe.
Okay.
You're seeing 2 moons or more because it's a mirrored image reflecting off one another in the worlds. I'm now showing you alien deception is here. But those are not my truth. Those are the enemy's truths. And you will see those are not aliens. They are fallen angels and Nephilims. That is the deception that I have allowed, that I am bringing on this world. To the stubborn hearts, and I am allowing this delusion to come over you until you repent and call on my son. And everything that you will see will come to pass. And when all of this comes to pass, that is when the mysteries of Antarctica is not only going to be revealed. You will see everything at first sight. You will see that mystery come to life here soon when my veil is removed. I will let you see the darkness that is coming upon this world before I dial the clock back. The ones that will remember that all of this destruction has happened and darkness was revealed, and the ones that called out to me before I pushed the dial back on the clock, back and forward, using the portals directed into the other worlds. If you weren't ready to be called up on the first round, but after what you have just witnessed and you have become ready now as I speak of the future, I will keep those memories for you and return them to you as the dial is turning back, and you will become my next group and new witnesses on the next round, and at the completion of that round, I will call you up. But you will have to watch all the events unfold once again. But you will be warning my people, this time to what is coming, and now you will be chosen by me to truly speak on my half. Because everything you have seen, I will now make you remember, and everything that you will remember, I will now make known to you, and you will be called on and a part of my team of revivals, and you will be showing my people and warning them that my way is the only way to inherit true salvation by believing in me, Yeshua HaMashiach, my finished works on the cross. And you will remember what has happened previously, because you...
Hold on one second, Jesus is speaking.
Yes.
Okay, I just heard, tell my people that I have surprises for them. My 12 may be starting things, but I have surprises for every single one of my children. And he said, I know my children